what you want, you are not going to be able to make a goal. You're not going to be able to come up with a plan. Finding out and identifying what you want is part of this whole process. That's your job. It's going to take some meditating, but it's up to you to figure out and ask yourself the question, what do I want? What do I want to change? What do I want to be different? And when I can identify that, when I can identify what my true desire is, whether it's live or die, whether it's give up drugs or alcohol or a relationship, I need to figure out for myself and my soul and identify like what that question is. What is the answer? What do I want? Right? And that isn't an easy question. Identifying the true desire gives you a starting point. And if you don't have a starting point, you're not going to be able to see the finish line. You're not going to be able to plan to meet the goal. So I need to identify that desire. I need to meditate. I need to walk. I need to talk to people. I need to start investigating and ask myself those deep, dark questions. Like when I'm in a dark place and I'm all alone and I'm suffering, am I just okay with letting this play out the way it is? Am I okay with where my life is at? Am I okay with this relationship? Or do I want different? Do I want change? Not about how, and it's impossible and get all overwhelmed about those questions, but just ask yourself, like, do I want to be, do I want the suffering to stop? Do I want the pain to stop? Do I want to be sober? Do I want to be clean? Do I want different in my life? Acknowledge that. If you're out in the world and you're thinking about this and this could take months, this could take days, every person is different. But if you really sit there in a quiet place and you figure out that, I do want to live. Like I do want healthier relationships. I do want, this for my life, right? And maybe you can envision what that picture looks like for yourself and just for a second and look at it and envision it. And do you want that? Like, do you want that for yourself? With no one around, don't ask anyone, just ask yourself. When you come up with that vital answer, either it's just going to let you be where you are and you can accept that, or when you give yourself that starting point, it is now possible that you could have a goal, that you could have a plan, that you could work towards, right? So when I acknowledge that for myself, like, I do want to live. Like, I do want healthier, loving relationships. I do want a different job. I do want a different outcome. I don't envision my life this way. I want something different. Yes. And be like, it's okay to want that. It's okay to desire something different. So for 1 second, you just give yourself the permission to want that in private. But when that space is created and that time happens for you and you acknowledge that and you own that, now you've answered a very important question for your soul. And I've now listened to my soul. And when I listen to my soul, I am acknowledging just myself and who I want, and I am loving myself in that moment. Now, when I identify that, I know I'm at the fork in the road. I know which direction I've just decided to go, right? And yes, the path of change might be hard, but I don't need to have everything figured out just because I answered that question. Just because I've made a decision and I've decided that, yes, maybe I want different. Now I've just opened my mind to the possibility that I could have that, but I don't know how I'm going to get that. Like, it's a very humble moment because you're in a place where you don't have all the answers yet, but you've just answered one question for yourself. And that's a huge act of self-love, self-acknowledgement, recognizing your own personal desire and need for something to be different. And good job on you for that if you get to that place. It's hard work listening to yourself. It's hard work looking in, but it's vital and it's worth it. So now that you've made that decision, whether I'm going to go this way or that way, like I'm going to either just accept and be here forever and don't care, or, maybe you're there for a little longer or for a while. Like, maybe something you're just not ready to open up or let something change. But whatever, you're at that place, but maybe you've made that decision that you do want to change or you want something to stop. So now you can you open the door in another direction. It just opens it up. So now that you've identified that desire, now the thing is like, what do I do next? Now that I have that desire and I acknowledge that, I now look for everything that's in the way or everything that I need to do to go towards that thing. Because now if I acknowledge that, I actually now know what my goal is, because my goal is, I want to live, I want a healthier and different. That actually, when I say yes, I have a goal. And now the plan, is everything between this point and that point. What do I do? And that's the process part. There's more work to be done there. But I have to have a starting point, but that starting point gives me the finish line. Right? And then I can get to work on how do I go from A to B. And then the next step is going to be, figuring out who a safe person is, and then figuring out like what I need to get to that goal. And then just like following through, becoming an open-minded person, So this is a process. So this is my part 1 of 4 videos. But the first one is just to identify which direction you want to go. Because no change happens if you can't answer that question. Do you want it or not? Can you imagine what your life would look like if it was this way? And then am I allowed to have that? I'm the one that has to give myself the permission that, I want that, and allow that for myself. But I have to come up with that very important answer for that decision. I have to make that decision. And only I can make that decision. And it doesn't have to be with an audience or people and have other people approve. It just has to be with myself in my lonesome and just ask, like, what do I want? How would I want my life to look like? And envision that and take your time. Like take days, take walks, take hikes, and hang out with yourself to come up with that real, true, honest answer. Because without that, you're not going to get to the next step. So identify the desire, whether it's just to have the pain stop, whatever. But that question has to be answered and only can be answered by you. Okay, hang in there, guys. Bye.